As the Trump administration looks to crack down on the threat posed by Latin American cartels, the Navy has deployed multiple warships to the region, including 3 guided missile destroyers and 1 guided missile cruiser. Let's take a closer look at what is going in the capabilities that they have. So here's the USS Gravely, the Jason Dunham, in the Samson. Those are the Panama Canal headed to international waters off Venezuela. When you talk about this administration's push for peace through strength, this is what strength looks like. And you talk about capabilities, you can see a missile being fired off here. So the destroyer capabilities is quite impressive. It's one of the strongest we have in the arsenal. They're equipped with Tomahawk and vertical launch ASROC missiles. Those are anti-sub rocket missiles, very significant. They also can carry nuclear-tipped missiles. They're equipped with the Aegis weapon system. That's what makes these destroyers very unique. And they can reach speeds up to 30 knots, which makes them very swift and very quick and can maneuver at a moment's notice. Finally, they all carry 2 LAMPS helicopters. What's that? Those are light, airborne, multi-purpose systems. They're also known as Seahawks, Sikorsky Seahawks. They can maneuver in very urban areas or overseas, depending on what they need to do. There's also a nuclear-powered submarine that is following along with these. So quite a lot of power, sending quite a strong message to international waters off Venezuela, a message being heeded by Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, who has mobilized over 4 million militia members to try and combat this if there is some sort of incursion. Today, Secretary of State Marco Rubio heading to Latin America as he begins a trip to Mexico and Ecuador. The State Department says will center on discussions towards dismantling the cartels, halting fentanyl trafficking, and ending illegal immigration. Joining us now to discuss is security specialist and cartel expert Ed Calderon. Ed, what do you make of the ships that are being sent and how Maduro is responding to this? And do you think ultimately that Secretary Marco Rubio's trip can sort of help foster these other Latin American countries, Mexico, Ecuador, to join our fight against the cartels?
Mexico is going through a very leftist time in its policy and politics. It's going to be an uphill battle. The things that are going on with the Maduro regime have been going on for years. The first time El Chapo was arrested in the 90s was coming back from a meeting with some of the generals that run the Cartel de los Soles, which is very much at the center of some of these allegations that the United States is launching at Maduro. It's an uphill battle.
It's an uphill battle, Ed, but, you point out rightfully that back in 2020, the first Trump administration indicted Maduro as the leader of the Cartel del Soles because of narco-terrorism and because of the cocaine trafficking. Do you see what we're seeing in this show of force, this strength off the international waters of Venezuela will in some way convince Maduro that it is time for him to give up his reign on that cartel and stop sending the deadly drugs into our country?
And movement is down. Obviously, some of these cartel forces and people that are moving things on that ocean are stopping. Large seizures of the kind that we haven't seen ever in Mexico. And yeah, fear on the part of the Maduro regime mobilizing 80-year-old people to basically take up arms and in defense of his kind of indefensible regime.
Yeah, and you see, Ed, the numbers are just night and day from this year to last year at the border. In fact, the interim Border Patrol Sector Chief Walter Soslar of El Paso saying that they've cost the cartels some $1 billion. I don't know exactly if that can continue, but ultimately the Trump administration has taken the fight to these cartels, and they are making all of Latin America on notice that they better join in the fight because this is a fight they intend to win. I'll give you the last 20 seconds. How do you see this fight going? Can the Trump administration crack down and stop it all?
We've just seen the election of now judges in Mexico that just took power yesterday, which is a step backwards. There are clear signs that this is shifting. Cartels are being dissolved. Sinaloa cartel is basically extinct now. There's just elements of it remaining. and coyotes at the border are struggling to remain in business. Things are changing and moving towards significant changes with this administration.
Well, the Trump administration is certainly cracking dead. Ed Calderon, thank you for your insight. We're going to continue to watch that coast of Venezuela to see what develops. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.